Well, hello. My name is Paula Leggett, and I am the food venturist. And I wanted to get this series started talking about a brand new coffee shop in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And that is Melrose Coffee and Wine Bar. And it is located just off Stratford Road near Haynes Mall. You can find it on Instagram. You can find them on Facebook. But what I wanted to do today is to talk to you a little bit about the founders of Melrose Coffee and Wine Bar, and that is Karen and Nevin. And they are married. They do have some other business partners, but Karen and Nevin, who I've spent time with, and I want to tell you a little bit about them and their shop. I'm going to show you some still pictures. I might show you a video of the interior, but what I want you to do right here is to make sure that if you are anywhere near Winston-Salem, North Carolina, that you spend some time getting to Melrose Coffee and Wine Bar and meeting Karen and Nevin. So this is kind of a mod looking space for the South. For Winston-Salem, North Carolina, we tend to do a little more of a farmhouse look, a little more of a casual look, but this has got the glitz and the glam of Melrose. And they wanted that California vibe. Now, Karen is from Toronto. She comes out of the insurance business, and she met Nevin, and Nevin was from California, from Orange County, and he's an entrepreneur, has several businesses, but this is a passion of Karen's. And I want to tell you, it has her all over it. It has her all over it. She is brilliant. She is charming. She is a young mother. She has a passion for things she does. And one of the things she loves is coffee. Now, she ended up accidentally falling in love with great coffee because she was drinking a lot of coffee, and she told me that it always had double cream, double sugar in it. And so she probably wasn't really tasting coffee. But what she was tasting were all the things going into it. But there was a season of her life where she followed a paleo lifestyle. She's all about health and wellness. And during that time, of course, she couldn't have cream and she couldn't have sugar. And she learned to appreciate coffee for the flavor notes, for the aromas, for the varieties. And so coffee is a passion of hers. Now, they do also have loose teas. And as you can tell from the name, there is going to be wine. If you're watching this right at Christmas time, then they're just in the process of getting their liquor license, their ABC license. If you've never struggled with that or don't know anybody in the food and hospitality and beverage business, then you probably don't know in North Carolina that it can be a bit challenging, right? And so, there is coming. And they are going to have two different types of wines, not wine varietals, but two different segments of wine. One will be a collector's wall, and that will all be done by the bottle, $50 to $100 a bottle. So most from very small single vintners around the world. And then they're going to have a by the glass list, and that's going to be awesome. So that's coming. But what I want to talk to you about today is coffee. Right. So I fell in love with Karen for a lot of reasons, and for Nevin. First of all, they're both extremely welcoming. They're both extremely welcoming. They want you to be there. They want you to be comfortable. They want to serve you. And they're both extremely knowledgeable. So one of the things they've quickly become famous for are their lattes. Now, they have all kinds of different kinds of coffees. They have a beautiful pastry bar. They have those loose teas we talked about, and they have mocktails. Now, you can check out my blog about them at foodventurist.com. You are more than welcome and encouraged to join me on Facebook or Instagram under Food Venturist. Easy greasy on Instagram. It's just Food Venturist. If you go onto Facebook and you want to be interactive, you're going to want to join my group. If you go onto Facebook and you just want to kind of watch, you want to join the page, right? But the group is much more interactive, and it's a great place for you to tell me about places to go, not just in North Carolina, but all over the place, because I was raised in the food and beverage business. I'm not a restaurateur. I'm not a chef. My mother was a great home cook. My dad, an amazing executive chef. But what they taught me to do was to appreciate people that worked in the food and beverage business, that worked in hospitality, and to champion those people. And so that's what Food Venturist is about. But I got to tell you, when I walk into Karen and Nevin's Melrose Coffee and Wine Bar, I feel like they're championing me. I mean, they're just They are just about people, but they're also super knowledgeable. So I went in the first time to meet them and ask if I could look around and then if I could write a blog post about them. So we set that all up, and I had a drip coffee and a beautiful chocolate croissant. Oh my gosh, y'all. They have a chocolate and they have a Nutella. Oh, and they use local bakers as much as possible throughout the Triad of North Carolina. So if you're not from North Carolina, don't know a lot about it, the Triad is kind of right in the center, and it's comprised of Winston-Salem, Greensboro, and High Point originally. And of course, we've incorporated Kernersville and Lexington and Louisville Clemens, and maybe, although Burlington's not in the Triad, you get a little bit of that. So right here in the Triad of North Carolina, I was encouraged and thrilled to know that they are using local bakers as much as possible. And so I got the chocolate croissant. I brought that home to share. And we shared it with 3 people. My husband, my father-in-law, and I all shared that. It was more than enough. Had the drip coffee, which was amazing, just like Karen had told me. It's all about the notes. It's just like drinking wine. It's the nose. It's the notes. It's the varietal of the bean. It's just like drinking wine. But I went in a second time, and I thought, I'm going to order for what I keep hearing about, which is the secret menu. And there is a secret menu, but I'm going to tell you about it. And if you read that blog post, there's a little more detail. But I knew there was a blueberry something latte. Now, I'm not a big blueberry fan, but Nevin had promised me that I was going to love it. But he said to me, I think what you're really going to love is the rose vanilla or vanilla rose latte. And I was like, well, that's intriguing. So that's what I ordered. I'm going to pop a picture up of it right here. And while I'm doing that, what I want to do is to share with you one of the reasons that I love Nevin and Karen. So is that thing not gorgeous? That's on the secret menu. The blueberry one's going to come to me. It's blueberry and something. It's in the blog post. But this one is rose vanilla rose. And I said, Nevin said to me, what kind of milk do you want? And he named off 5, 6, 7 kinds of milk. And I said, just whole milk or cream's fine. I was like, okay, that's a lot of milks. And he said to me, you really want oat milk? And I was like, oat milk? I really want oat milk. So I'm going to stop this share and tell you what I love about them. He knew what I needed, and he wasn't afraid to politely tell me. And then Karen taught me why. When I talked to Karen, she said, oh, Paula, it gives it a creamier texture. And I said to her, it has more weight. So again, like a wine, just like that. So wines, you talk about them being light or being full-bodied or having weight. This is the same. Their love of coffee and their passion for teas and wines are all very similar. And y'all, that thing was delicious. It was delicious. Now, let's look in here. Now, what I also love about them is that, Karen shared with me that she had learned a lot from a barista she had hired. And I love that. I absolutely, positively love when people can be humble enough to share what they learn from other people. Don't y'all love that? Now, this is my first visit. This is the drip coffee, and this is that chocolate croissant. Now, it's in the to-go container, but you can still tell if you look right here on the edges, you can tell about those flaky layers. Oh my goodness, that was not over sweet, but just enough chocolate, just amazing. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the shop, and I want to tell you that. Let's see, let's look right here. First, this is the private room. They have a private room that they've set up so that you can, it's about, I'm guessing, maybe it's 8 or 9 feet wide and maybe 12 feet long. And it's set up so that if you want to go in there and study, you can reserve it, or if it's not available, you can use it. If you want to go in there with a couple of friends, you can do that. You can see there's right here is a reflection, but there's a big screen TV on the wall. And that makes it really nice if you want to do a Zoom event, or I guess you could go reserve it and go in there and watch a movie. And Karen said to me, Paula, one of the reasons we set that up is because people are going to meet here, like real estate agents and clients, financial advisors and clients. And they wanted to have a private space where people didn't have to discuss their private business. in public. So if they wanted to go there, they could. Now, when I show you this screen, oh, y'all, this place is so beautiful. Karen has such an eye and a talent. And I want you to look at several things in this picture. First, I want you to look at this kind of industrial vibe. So again, it's not cutesy, and there's nothing wrong with cutesy, but it's not cutesy. It is very modern, this gorgeous tree. And you probably can't see in this picture based on what kind of device you're on. I'm going to circle right here. That is the most beautiful rose ornament. And there's a bunch of them on there. And Karen shared with me that their 4-year-old son, Grayson, picked those out. Oh, he's cute as a bug. I saw a picture of him the other day. He's cute as a bug. But here's what I want you to see. So off, if you're looking at my cursor, off to the left is where the private room is. The main part of the shop is in front of the metal wall. But this area right here is a long bar. And if you look right there, there's a woman behind this tree, but right there's her laptop. So I've been there a couple times and I've seen people sitting here studying. I've seen people sitting here chatting. And there's also an area there's also an area, I want to show it to you, but I was having a hard time getting it up. There was also an area, but that's their coffee. Let me show you their coffee. I don't know where the video is right now, but there's a video that I have that is of the whole environment, the little cozy yet modern couches, the same tables that you saw in the private room. I'm going to show you a picture in a minute of Nevin making my latte. But here's their coffee brand, Wonderlust. And they have, there's 4 pictured here, but there are 3 fair trade single varietals of coffee. And then there are 2 blends. So you get to choose what you would like. And we're going to go back. I'm going to show you this picture. I think I can do it. Yeah. I'm going to show you this picture. That is Nevin peeking out over while I'm taking pictures of him making my latte. That vanilla rose. Oh my gosh, it was so, it may be rose vanilla. Forgive me, but it was so good. And y'all, what I want you to do is to visit them. I want you to follow them on Instagram. I don't know, but I suspect at some point they're going to do more than one. And I don't know where they'll go. I know that Karen, as I told you, is from Toronto and Nevin is from LA. I know they've spent some time in Florida. And so they are now local residents of not Winston-Salem, but the surrounding area of Winston-Salem. So I suspect there might be more than one. But follow them on Instagram, Melrose Coffee and Wine Bar. Follow them on Facebook. Don't forget to follow Food Venturist on Facebook and on Instagram. Remember, if you want to be a little more interactive, join the Food Venturist group. If you just want to kind of hang out and watch incognito, follow the Food Venturist page. And so, y'all, the next one's coming. Can't wait to tell you about another hardworking entrepreneur in the food or beverage or hospitality business. Have a magnificent, magnificent day.